Usually we don't get this many visitors, so. But welcome, everyone. City Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. City Council has returned from closed session with no reportable action.
Okay, next we will go to the agenda item number 4, Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Doby.
Please stand with me and put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead. Oh, Ron. Go ahead.
Dear Lord, please guide us in our decisions this evening. We ask you to continue to bless the residents of our community and to provide for them a most humble and enjoyable holiday season. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And next we will move on to agenda item number 6A. And I think Mayor Pro Tem Hasselbrink will take lead on this.
All right, so as the mayor put it, we are here tonight to kick him out of office, or at least the chair, So we have a couple of presentations for you, and I'll just start going down by the list. We have Senator Tom Umberg's office, if you want to come on up.
Thank you so much. Well, Mayor Churko, you came in at a time when COVID was in full swing, when things were still getting going with the city, and watching you this last year, it's been pretty incredible how you've led the city and kept everyone together and, made sure that when this year ended, the city was better off than you left it. And I think that's the most anyone can ask for when it comes to, stepping down from mayor. And so on behalf of the California State Senate, the Office of State Senator Tom Umberg, we'd like to present you with the certificate of recognition for your service as mayor over the last year.
Thank you very much.
And next up, from Assemblymember Janet Wynn's office, we have George Boutros.
Thank you, Mayor Chirco and the city of Los Alamitos. On behalf of Assemblymember Janet Wynn, I would like to present the mayor with the Assembly Certificate of Recognition. The certificate reads, in honor of your years of service and devotion to the residents of the city of Los Alamitos, and thank you for your hard work and endless dedication to our communities. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for all that you've done for the city over the past year, and we wish you nothing but the best as you continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
And next, from Orange County Supervisor Katrina Foley's office, we have Representative Calvin Alvarez. Is she here? Okay. It's over here somewhere. There we go. Oh, those are the others. Okay, next we have from LA Unified Board President Marla Davis.
Here.
Thank you. Congratulations. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Pulver, our Board of Education, and our Cabinet to thank you for all that you've done in a very difficult year. You've held our community together. All of you have held our community together, and we can't thank you enough. Through a lot of challenges at our district, you've partnered with us. Every single week, something new seems to occur, and you are always there for us. We want to give a special shout out to our police department. Yes, thank you. who's been there every step of the way with us. But this was a difficult time to lead. And yet every time I drive down the street and see shop local, eat local, play local, stay local, and support local, as a proud Los Alamitos resident, you all have made that, and under your leadership, you have made that so easy to do. You opened up the community when it was safe. You provided activities. You didn't just care about our physical health and COVID. You cared about our mental health, our social emotional well-being by providing so many activities for families that kept them safe but let them be together. So on behalf of the Los Alamitos School Board, sorry, I'm old, I have to put my glasses on, even for big print. Sorry. We want to congratulate and commend you for exemplary service as mayor in 2021 in the city of Los Alamitos. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me just say, I know I'll make some comments later, but just I wanted to echo the same comments that you made about the city council. The school board has also faced a tremendously difficult year in many respects. And so I would like to say on behalf of the council that we appreciate all the hard work that you all do for our students, for our children, in a really, really tremendously difficult year, you know, deciding whether or not to put kids back in school, what the right time is for that, you know, following the state mandates, which we have to do, of course, but also always looking out for the well-being, physical and mental well-being of our children. So I wanted to express my support and my appreciation of that. Thank you.
And next we have Nisi, Chamber of Commerce President.
Hi. The first time I met Mark was at an event, and he was working the room. This was before I realized he had political aspirations. It was the open house for his wife's business, and he was just friendly, made sure everybody was comfortable, accommodated, and was greeting and meeting. And that's what he's done. That's what he does. And then back in January, he came to the chamber and said he was interested in subleasing an office because he didn't want to be home with the kids. And guess what happened in March?
My wife, she was kicking me out.
But we appreciate what you've done with the city, the support that you've given to local businesses and the chamber, and congratulations on a very successful year.
Thank you, Nisi.
And finally, we have Colonel Lawler from our beautiful military base.
Actually, Mayor Pro Tem, I've got Colonel Figs with me.
Oh,
Try to hobble up there without.
come on up.
She didn't want to miss it.
All right.
Oh, I don't think I need that.
You're military, you don't need
Yeah.
So on behalf of the Joint Forces Community, to really echo the entire community here, we really wanted to thank you for our continued partnership. I know it's been a challenging year for everybody, but LaSalle has just been very supportive, and we really appreciate our partnership and our way ahead. So thank you so much, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So now it's my turn.
You're saying something?
Yeah, believe it or not. So, so Mark and I have kind of this interesting relationship. I would probably sum it up as my annoying little brother.
Thank you.
Something like that? Yeah, it works. Shannon, that's appropriate? Okay, perfect. So I just kind of wanted to go over, you know, as everybody has said, you know, this last year, actually the last 2 years have been extremely difficult. Cities work on plans and agendas, and when COVID hit, there is no plan, there is no agenda, and we're really winging it. And Mark really stepped up and led the city and tried to be as creative as we could with staying open and making sure that people had a quality of life since they were banished to their homes anyway. And he did a lot under his leadership. He was instrumental in developing and approving the first fully balanced budget in 10 years. Our budgets before were always pension liability, and this is the first time that we actually balanced it and addressed the elephant in the room, which is huge. It affects every city, every school board, every public agency, and he was able to do that. I'm going to read this. He solidified the city's commitment to public safety by authorizing much-needed resources and personnel for the police department. He approved funding for a full complement of offers for the first time in 10 years. We have been operating at a bare minimum, and now we're getting to the point where we're not. He's approved the city's first ever active transportation plan, ensuring mobility and safety in Los Alamitos stay a priority. He spearheaded the development and approval of approximately $3 million in public improvement. We were a city that our public improvements were always put on the back burner. We were just trying to keep the budget balanced and do all kinds of mandates and everything, and now we're actually able to move forward, and that's pretty exciting. The budget season actually is kind of fun this time. He worked with all the businesses, created programs, the Lasalle Bucks, where we were able to give back to the residents, and they in turn gave back to the businesses, just to kind of being a little bit creative, and really doing a good job in allocating money and make sure that everybody was able to benefit from any excess that we had. So that was great. And at this time, I want to bring up my colleagues. We can actually be together until Wednesday, then we can. So come on up, and.
Are we doing this out of order? Okay.
Are we doing that over? That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
She'll probably be the next mayor, so you can.
Yeah, maybe.
You can rearrange the schedule.
Exactly. So Mark gave himself this reputation. We're not very proud of it, but he is quite proud of it. Whenever he gets the microphone, he always does his bad dad jokes. And he exceeded expectations. They are bad. At our Winter Wonderland with 4,000 people there, what, you gave 4 or 5 of them?
Yeah, I could have gone all night.
And just the utter moans. So I figure since you're going to have a little bit of spare time on your hands, I am presenting you with the ultimate dad joke book, 501 hilarious jokes.
My kids will not appreciate
Nope. And I promise to the citizens that I will never give him the microphone in this next year. But honestly, Mark, it's been real fun to work with you. We agree, we disagree, we have a lot of fun. The sarcasm is quite high in our meetings, and it's nice to be around. I appreciate everything that you have done. I'm going to give my colleagues a chance to speak if they would like. So I will. Would you like to say something?
I say a little something. Well, I had a feeling that it was going to come to this, so I was thinking about what I was going to say. And I would say the greatest thing that I've watched you do as mayor was, although you could have just made decisions and you could have come in with your own ideas already cooking, you always brought whatever you learned before we did back to the table for all of us to have discourse over and for everyone to give input on. And as a first year elected, that really meant a lot to me, because I felt like I actually had a say. And what that means to everybody else is, so do you. You have a say. Just use your voice and speak up, because if he's listening, we're listening. And that honored me. So I thank you for that. And now I honor you, Mr. Going Out Mayor. I know Ron wants to say something. Does Jordan want to say something? We'll let Jordan go next.
I'll be short.
This is a lot of compliments. You make it
How about a hug with that? No. I would just like to thank Mark, because he's encouraged me early on, initially when I to apply for the Parks and Rec Commission, and when the district opened up, he encouraged me to run for that district. So I want to thank personally for the support, and being a first-time council member, I couldn't have asked for a better mayor, a better example, or a better leader. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark, it's been a true pleasure. I must admit that I didn't know what to expect coming on the council. I think your leadership, and every time I'm out in the community with Mark, I just feel good about the city. He shows the class, the leadership, the direction that I think is so important for all our community. He listens to what everybody has to say, and he makes the best decisions and recommendations to the city council, and always with our community in mind. So Mark, thank you. You're a true leader in our community.
I hear I'm going out of order. Obviously, I didn't read anything. So I would like to present you with the traditional outgoing gavel. Boys, this is not a weapon. It stays on the plaque. You can't use it on each other. But honestly, we just want to thank you for everything. I've loved serving with you. And all kidding aside, it's just been a true pleasure, and look forward to giving you a little bit more hard time.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we're good. All right, now we can talk about somebody else. So the next item on the agenda is the presentations of certificates of recognition to the My City, My Lasalle Partnership Program sponsors. Thank you, Wendy. I always try to make a point, and I know my colleagues do as well, of always thanking city staff, because we know, I mean, we get the glory when things go well. Sometimes we get the blame when things don't go so well. But we know city staff is really who's behind all the wonderful events that happen and all the great things that our city's doing. And so while my colleagues are thanking me for all the great things I did, really the city staff is doing the actual legwork on the background. We just approve things or we give some input, but really they do all the heavy lifting. But what we sometimes don't always recognize is our community sponsors, who I think Emmeline would tell you we could not do without. And we really need their support. We appreciate their support. And with it, we are able to have this wonderful community and community events and sense of community that we always talk about because of those sponsors. So with that, let me read a bit of information here about the partnership program. It launched in 2019 as a way for businesses within the community to support recreation and community services programs while obtaining marketing benefits and opportunities to connect directly with our community. The 2022 program will offer 4 benefit levels. I love it. We're still selling, even though we're recognizing, right, Emily? We'll offer benefit levels for businesses to choose from, in turn receiving a wide range of marketing and connection opportunities, such as booths at a selection of community events, acknowledgement on city social media platforms, and recognition on marketing materials. Brochures were mailed out to Los Alamitos business community last week, and brochures are also available in the back and on the city's website. We definitely want to thank our 2021 partners for this year for their commitment to the community. Their generosity helps to keep most of our city events free to attend and provides the city the opportunity to offer so many wonderful events throughout the year. And really, the events here, as you know, if you've been to them, they are events that a city of probably 1 million people would put on. They're wonderful. You know, we've got a small staff, but they do a wonderful job, and that's in no small part thanks to the sponsorships and our community sponsors as well. So with that, I have certificates. The first is for, if I could ask Martha Gonzalez, a community employee relations specialist for Long Beach Medical Center, Miller Children and Women's Hospital of Long Beach, our title sponsor, to come up. Thank you. Would you like to say something? We would love.
First of all, absolutely. Your staff is amazing. Emmeline is, I've known her for years, and she's just great. We've had the pleasure of sponsoring and growing on sponsorships. We are a nonprofit hospital, and we advance the health of the community, and it's partnerships like this that allows us to do so. So thank you again to everyone, and Emmeline, thank you again.
Thank you. Picture. Don't forget about the picture.
There needs to be a sign. Style picture.
Thank you. Okay, next we've got Financial Partners Credit Union, which is our star sponsor. Deborah Flanagan, Branch Manager. Jill Earps, SVP and Chief Retail Officer. Cindy Seraphin, VP Retail Delivery. Royce Ngam, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, VP Marketing. Janet Mardesic, Director of Community Development. If you could please come up. Are all 5 of you here? Or we got 5, all right, perfect. Hi, thank you. Hi, thank you. Hi, thank you. Hello, thank you, of course, thank you. And we've got a certificate here. I don't know who wants to take the certificate. And whoever wants to speak, feel free.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening. We're with Financial Partners Credit Union, as the mayor said, and we are big fans of this community. And you may have seen us at Winter Wonderland or at the street fair or at Trunk or Treat, but we have really made a commitment to interact with the citizens of this great community and see what we can't do to improve their lives with our financial service solutions. So our nearest branch is in Rockmore, right on Seal Beach Boulevard, next to the Ralphs in that center. And we have had more fun in this community supporting your events. It's a great community, great leadership, and thank you very much. And happy holidays to all of you and your families. And I think as we reflect on last year, it's going to be a really important holiday season to be safe, healthy, and so thank you for letting us be a part of this event. Thank you for the special recognition.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
I'll do that after the next one. Okay, and next we've got Manny Galvin with the Los Alamitos Senior Club. He's the treasurer, and the Senior Club is a supporter sponsor. Oh, he did not make it. Okay, we'll hold on to this. And City Clerk Quintanar has suggested that my family come up for a picture before.
Yay!
That we'll do. My parents too.
They're very proud.
What's that? Yeah, my parents, of course.
Shannah's still out.
No, he said, of course you're proud, yeah.
Oh no, I said of course you should come up.
His wife's a dentist, right? Yeah, yeah, get mama up there.
Yeah, come on, Mama.
So stinking cute.
Oh.
What's funny is the kids would usually make a silly face for any picture, but now they know not to, right guys?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Right, guys?
It sounded like a threat to me.
I love it.
Okay, thank you. Now we've got some city business to attend to. Item number 7, oral communications. At this time, any individual in the audience may come forward to speak on any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Remarks are to be limited to not more than 5 minutes per speaker. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak on any item? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to council announcements. At this time, council members may also report on items not specifically described on the agenda that are of interest to the community, provided no action or discussion is taken except to provide staff direction to report back or to place the item on a future agenda. Would anyone like to go first? Councilmember Nafolda, we'll just pick you then.
Trying to look away.
I saw that.
No, I just wanted to thank again the staff for an excellent event. The Winter Wonderland was, I thought, very well attended, and I enjoyed it as my family did. So that was a great job. And I'm getting nothing but positive feedback from the Lasalle Bucks program. So I wanted to extend another thank you for that, because people are reaching out to me and, saying, they're using it primarily for food, it seems like. But it's been a positive thing, I think, and I'm glad we did that. So thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Bates?
Sure. Just a couple things. One, as Jordan just mentioned, the Lasalle Bucks program. This just went out recently to all our residents to make sure they spend their Lasalle Bucks locally. And I guess the other group that's benefiting is the Play It Again Sports, where apparently a lot of people are going in with their Lasalle Bucks to buy sporting equipment for the kids. So I'm glad that's all working out well. Secondly, I just wanted to thank the Chamber for the nice event they had recently for the Christmas season with the choir from the high school coming in. They did a wonderful job. Gosh, what a group of talented kids. And Councilmember Doby did a great job making a presentation on behalf of the city at the council meeting. And it was just a wonderful event. And I'm glad that many, many residents attended, and a lot of the businesses were also represented. And the last thing I'd like to say is, as some of you know, I've been in this community for my wife and I have been around for many years. We've been living in the same house here since '79, but I worked for the County of Orange starting about 1974. And during that period, I've been in contact off and on, both as an appointed official and as an elected official, with the Orange County Sheriff. And today, we just received a very nice, what I thought, informative, helpful communication from the county sheriff. The chief, I'm sure, has had a chance to take a look at this. And he's sharing with us the priorities for the county, his priorities, working with local law enforcement, around the whole county to try to advance the safety of our communities. And in his letter, which I think is very good, and I'm hoping the council, with the chief's guidance, can respond on behalf of us as a group to his letter. And he just emphasizes the behavioral health problems related to homelessness. He talks about the opioids and fentanyl and what he's doing to try to address that. He talks of the challenge all of us have with cybercrime and what he's proposing to do for that. And then lastly, his fourth issue is to remind us not to forget about terrorism, both international and homegrown, and what we can do to help keep our community safe. So I was just very impressed by the fact that he took time to write a letter to all the elected officials and council members with the input from all the police chiefs as to what his program is to try to keep Orange County safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Doby?
I've been a busy little bee. So I went to the OCOG General Assembly. My mind was blown. Oh my goodness, the fire authority presentations, and it was just so much. But the bottom line was it's turning resilience into action. And I was very excited about the different things that our state is looking to do for all of our communities. I also attended the State of the District. And my greatest takeaway from that, and I attended as a council member because I couldn't get a ticket as a parent, but I was there as a parent. Shh, don't tell anybody. But the greatest takeaway Dr. Pulver shared is love is one of the keys to reaching our youth, and that every child is one caring adult away from being a success story. And that ministered to me because it's very true. It's so simple, but we can all do that. Just take that extra second to look a child in the eyes and let them know that they're cared for, that they're important. It matters. I also went to it was like an open house for Marina Skincare. It's right over there in, what's the shopping center where Print Masters is? What's it called? All of our little shopping centers have Center Plaza. She specializes in youth skincare, which is critical with I've got a hormonal 12-year-old, and she gave me some excellent things to use on his skin and face, and I can attest that they're actually working. I went to my HR committee meetings, my mosquito and vectors meetings. I'm not gonna scare you guys with the mosquito and vectors report. Gourmet pie. Went to dinner at the Gourmet Pie. It's great for large families, and especially if you have children. They don't care about them screaming. I had a 5-month-old, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and then all the way up. They didn't mind us at all. I can suggest their fried chicken slider, meatloaf slider, and carne fries. You're welcome. I went to a ribbon cutting at Garage Pilates. The owner is such a sweetie pie. She tried to convince me that I should come. I bought a shirt. I also went to the open house for Casa Youth Shelter. And I want to shout out Rossmore Elementary because they collaborated with Casa Youth Shelter to adopt several of the children that are in the youth shelter. And the kids were so excited. My daughter was over the moon. She was helping me pick things. She was like, Mama, you got to get the Yoda Squishmallow. They'll love it. We didn't know who our child was, but I know that our school, because, we think to give, it has to be some lofty thing. No, that Yoda thing cost me about $20. But every child that saw it immediately wanted it. So in this season of thoughtfulness and giving, just know it doesn't have to be large. It just has to come from your heart. I went to the Chamber Holiday Breakfast, and that Lasalle Show Choir, oh my God. Those children are amazing. Their choir director is outstanding. It was such a fantastic moment. I was so proud of those children, and none of them actually belong to me, but they're all mine. And the last thing is I'm going to shout out Dr. Barrow for Orthodontics and Braces. My son will tell you his teeth look like they were ninja fighting MMA style with a little taekwondo. And within a year, they're actually straightening up really nice. So I thank them for that. Oh, no, the last thing was, has anybody else noticed the decorations in the medians? They are so nice. I love our city. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Hasselbrink.
Yeah, and you will be following Councilmember Doby from here on out on your council announcements. It's for me to follow this. Jordan,
Yeah.
Jordan, I feel your pain now. I really, really do. Okay, so I did attend the State of the District. It was great. It was a packed house at the Navy Golf Course. It was just, if you pulled COVID out of it, we still had the same accolades from academics, the arts. The kids were engaged. It just looks a little different, but the success stories are still there. And I know that's due to staff and the board and the teachers and just everybody. And, they are our future, and it's looking really, really nice. So that was great. I did attend Winter Wonderland. As usual, it was awesome. I got my annual tamales. They're in the freezer. Thank you, tamale ladies. Got to see Santa. I mean, it was just one of those small town, I was looking for a Hallmark movie type thing. It was just really neat to see that. I did attend the groundbreaking for the Veterans Cemetery a couple months ago. We as a council unanimously supported that. This was at the top of Gypsum Canyon. Every single city was represented there, along with all 5 supervisors. I was able to talk just briefly with James Bradley, who is a 100-year-old veteran who promises me that he's going to hang out because he's going to have the first piece of real estate at that cemetery, so they better hurry it up. He was just amazing. He actually served on the beaches of Normandy, and his mind is just as sharp as a tack. Skeleton's playing down a little bit, but he's just an amazing man, and this thing is just going to be fabulous. The flag was a 30-foot by 60-foot flag that will be raised, and you'll be able to see it in a lot of Orange County, sitting on top of the hill. So it's a great thing for Orange County. I also want to congratulate Councilmember Doby, because I do read the school board agenda that's tomorrow night. And apparently she is getting the Hero of the Heart from Rossmore Elementary, which is a very big deal, which means as a parent, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into your children's school, and we all thank you for that. So that's happening tomorrow night. And then I wanted to talk briefly a little bit about, through the whole COVID thing, we have gotten different grant money, recovery money. Some of it we knew about and some of it we didn't. One of the pieces that we did not know about is our Board of Supervisor, Katrina Foley, had given all of her cities $70,000 to help us bless some of the nonprofits that deal with our residents for food insecurities. And so our staff, as they always do, got very, very creative, and they did fishes and loaves and made that $70,000 pretty much touch any population that we have in the city. So I just want to real briefly just talk. It was the nonprofit grant program. We gave $7,800 to Casa Youth Shelter, Food Finders, Grateful Hearts, Lastonic Free Clinic, Summer Harvest, the Youth Center, Transitions in Motherhood, and We Care. $7,800 to some of these nonprofits is bigger than any fundraiser they will do all year. It makes a huge difference. And in addition, they also were able to bless the military. They were able to give $50 grocery cards to 80 participants from the Adopt a Military family program. And then with our lovely seniors, they were able to give also 80 participants from the senior club a $50 grocery card. So they were able to spread the love, and it's going to come back trifold. So I thank you for that. And that's about it. I would, Mayor, ask that if we could close in memory of Gene Petrini. I can read a quick
Please do.
bio on him. Gene Petrini passed away on December 1st due to complications from surgery at the age of 68. He was a Celebrate Recovery pastor at Cottonwood Church for the past 30 years, and just this past January, he fulfilled his lifelong dream in opening Petrini Pizza in Los Alamitos. It's a wood-fired pizza restaurant where Gene and his son became certified pizza makers. They also flew back a wood-burning pizza oven from Italy. It sits as the center of their restaurant. They make the best cannolis I've ever had. They've created a gathering space with outdoor fire pits and just a place to go and hang out. They have some live music sometimes. It's just a great place. Both Gene and his wife Blair were community leaders, and they've always been willing to help, whether it be through Celebrate Recovery or their Lasalle-based nonprofit, Grateful Hearts. Gene is survived by his wife Blair, their 3 children, Nicole, Tyler, and Landon, and grandchildren Almanzo, Henry, Mariposa, and due any day now, Manolo. His brother and sister-in-law are Bayless and Janet Conley, the pastors over at Cottonwood Church. Services will be held at Cottonwood Church on Wednesday, December 22nd at 10 a.m. Please keep this family in your prayers. Their 41st wedding anniversary is next week, December 21st, and with the anniversary and the holidays, it's going to be a rough one. They have tons of support, but if you could just say an extra prayer for them, it's going to be a rough going. So if we could close in his memory at the end of the meeting, I would appreciate that.
Of course.
And that's it.
Thank you. So I attended the Orange County Sanitation District Administration Committee meeting, Board of Directors meeting this month. I also attended Winter Wonderland, where I had the honor of leading the tree lighting ceremony, which was very fun. I don't recall ever seeing that many people. This has to have been the best attended event we've ever had for Winter Wonderland. I took a picture, I should send it to you, Emmeline, from the stage. It was a sea of people. All you could see is people the whole way out. So I think what probably really helped, and you know this, is that we invited all of the choirs, all the school choirs, and then they brought all their family members and grandparents and aunts and uncles. There were people there I had never seen at a city event, and so it was really nice. It was just a lot of fun, so thank you for that. I got to use my Lasalle bucks at Brew Kitchen Ale House. Seamless, like it was cash. It was great, and again, to echo what others have said, I've received nothing but positive feedback about that event, and complaints from people who don't live in Los Alamitos that they can get Lasalle bucks. So wonderful job on that. We also had a meeting last week where we approved a contract with our new waste hauler, Republic Services, and
Universal.
that's what was that?
The new waste hauler.
Excuse me, Universal. And that's pretty much it. So with that, I'll move on to item number 9, items from the city manager.
Just briefly, sir, I wanted to just echo some of the comments that were made earlier. I know myself and the staff really have appreciated your leadership during this difficult time. And I also wanted to just extend my thanks to your family as well, given the fact that I know that you had to steal away for numerous calls with me during the year. And so, you know, you can say a lot about leadership, but someone who's willing to give up their personal time to do those things is, it's laudable. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And that's it, sir.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to the warrants, unless anyone has any questions. Do we have any questions on the warrants?
Just 2 quick questions, Mayor. On page 2, I had a number of questions. Most of them have all been answered by the finance director already, so I won't go into those that have been already answered. But I was just wondering if you could go into a little more detail on the $275 expenditure for the district attorney's office and what that was all about. Maybe either Mike or Chief.
Oh, of course, sir. That actually, so it was a case that the district attorney did prosecute. And I'm sorry, the finance director did tell me actually right before we walked in here what it was for. And
It's
sorry, I'm not retaining it.
It's for code violation 9.20.010, which is unlawful discharge of firearm.
Okay, thank you. Then on page 15, Department of Housing, I guess I'm a little misunderstanding that. Why is it we're paying a fee for the mobile home park? Is that just a pass-through? I didn't quite understand that.
I understand, sir. And so it is a new fee that has been implemented by the state, by their community development department. And essentially what it is a fee that hits each one of the mobile home parks or each one of the plots in town. And so for within Royal Oak, there is 109 lots at $10 a lot. That's the justification for the fee. Now, the fee itself goes to actually pay for some of the planning efforts within those lots. Yes, exactly. And it's whether or not it is a pass-through, we're actually not paying it. It's a charge that's given to the actual owners of the units themselves.
Got it. And they're having to pay it because the state is doing what?
Well, as you know, the city does not regulate within mobile home parks. It is a ward of the state, so all of the building fees and all of those type of elements that have to be processed for a mobile home park, we don't process them locally. The state does that. And so essentially is the state trying to recoup their costs.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, unless there's any other questions,
I'll move it.
Second.
There we go. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me. We're doing roll call on this one. Go ahead, City Clerk, in turn.
Roll call, Mayor Turco,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Hasselbrink,
Aye.
Councilmember Bates,
Aye.
Councilmember Doby,
Aye.
Councilmember Nofulda.
Aye.
Okay, on to the consent calendar, item number 11. All consent calendar items may be acted upon by one motion unless a council member requests separate action on a specific item. Do we have any questions on any items?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on B,
Okay.
D, and F.
Okay. Let's take up those questions and then we can perhaps move the full set together at the end.
Mayor, on question B, or on item B, 11B, how will we know if there is a problem that requires reporting? Do we have a mechanism to track that?
Yes, so the state franchise do report complaints that they do get to us, and then also we, being a kind of a trust but verify kind of city, we also try to keep an eye on any complaints that arise to the point of needing some kind of alternative action and where they might actually have a fee or a fine that they have to pay at the end of the day. And so a lot of it is self-reporting on the part of the franchisee. However, we have access to that data as well and can check it ourselves.
Got it. And I guess my question then is, how are both primary franchisees here in Los Alamitos, being Frontier and Spectrum, how are they doing, and are we accumulating data that would suggest that there are too many outages, there are problems? What's the history that we have?
So I will say, on a whole, that the service level has actually been fairly good. That being said, like any service, there have been a number of outages, and based on what I've seen in terms of the tracking, we've never really met those statutory limits that were set within this ordinance. But that's not to say that we won't in the future, especially given the fact that everyone's making the transition to streaming services and such. I think that this is only going to become more difficult as time goes on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item is D.
I can't let D escape us without making one comment, and I'll make it short, but it's the comment that just, I would say, being on the council and having been on the council for many, many years, this just continues to, I think, be a challenge for all of us elected officials at the city and county level. Here we've got a great idea. I'm not arguing with SB 1383 per se, in trying to recycle more food waste at the community level. The only issue is, great idea, state, you pass a law, who pays for it? We do. At the county, we're the ones that can be fined at the county and city levels, not, and then what happens, we end up having to, in many cases, pass the charges along to our local residents, so they end up paying for all these great ideas that the state has. My point being, state, if you have a good idea, you put the law into effect, the governor signs it, pay for it. Legally, they're required to pay for it. And there's been state law that's passed, and usually they get around that by including a little couple comments in the state legislation. We don't view any impact that this is going to have on local governments, which they know clearly is not the case. So anyhow, my complaint, Mayor, I just want to keep that on the table. The state should be paying for laws that they put into effect that affect our local residents, and not trying. We have the privilege, by the way, if our local residents don't comply with the state law, we can fine them. I mean, what a privilege that is. So anyhow, just a comment that I think it's over the top, and more people need to, when our state legislators come here, we need to ask them, why are you voting for this stuff if you're not going to pay for it? Enough said.
Fair points. One in a long line of unfunded mandates from the state of California.
And this one could be very expensive, especially for those people starting to do new franchises. Fortunately, we considered it as part of our franchise, so it's already included, and I think we were able to hold down the cost pretty well. But some of these cities are really going to get nailed big time on this 1383. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Sure, and I think you said item F as well.
Yeah, on item F, on the financial report, in going through that, if we really look at it, I think we've got to get, let me make sure I've got that right, to the last page, back in the back of the agenda item. And back in the back, the last two pages talk about the really schedule of findings and responses, and that it talks about some of their suggestions. And I guess my only concern is a lot of people like, well, I love a clean audit. Well, yeah, you want a clean audit to a point, but you'd also like some constructive recommendations on how your finance operation can be improved. And I guess I felt like we kind of got shortchanged here a little bit on any constructive recommendations. I know we've got a good finance department. I'm not arguing with that, but I think we could have looked or had a little more of a detailed look and come up with some good recommendations on how to improve controls, et cetera, in the finance department, especially when Craig is having to try to work by himself or with one part-time person. I guess I would have expected a little more help from the auditing crew. So maybe we can ask them next time when they do an audit to look at it a little more in detail, the operation, and what improvements might be able to be made. Enough said.
And sir, if I can make just one comment, and I completely agree with your standpoint here that these are tools in order to make ourselves better, not just to give ourselves a pat on the back.
Exactly.
And so I will say this, that both Craig and myself had a number of discussions about just the 2 notes that were made. And I do believe that we are gaining some benefit from them because they are calling out issues about our checks and balances in terms of control. And given the fact that Craig has done a very impressive job with a department that is completely turned over in the last year, says a lot about Craig as a manager, but also the fact that we're already thinking about what exactly those stopgaps might be that we need to insert into the organization in order to make us better going forward.
Excellent. All great points. Thank you, Councilmember Bates. Do we have a motion for the full consent calendar?
So
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Doby, second by Bates. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Consent calendar passes. Next, we'll move on to item 12, special orders of the day. Comments by outgoing Mayor Mark Chirko. Does that mean my time is up?
Got it.
All right. I'll try to be brief. Before I make a mistake here. So, Los Alamitos is a great community. We all know this. It's got great schools, great people, great businesses, nonprofits, great police department, city staff. So, I just want to express my gratitude, my appreciation, and the pride that I felt serving as mayor this year and representing the city. I'll never forget walking at the base on 4th of July and everything going on at the base 4th of July. My first thought was, I'm so lucky to live here. And then I thought, wait, I'm the mayor. I'm also really lucky to be the mayor of this city. How did I get this lucky? So, I tried to keep that attitude of gratitude all year long. And beyond that, it really, there are challenges, but fortunately, most of the challenges in this city are met well by a wonderful city staff and by members of the community. So I just want to say thank you to city staff, our city manager in particular, colleagues on the city council, our commissioners, our residents, our businesses, our nonprofits, our police department, our city attorney. Don't worry, Michael, I won't forget you. Our school district, and of course our sponsors who we recognized earlier tonight. Thank you also to my wonderful wife, who's in the back here, and my sons for sharing me and my time and attention with the city, and for my parents who were here earlier who have supported me just for 42 years. So I appreciate that. I'm sorry they left, but despite the challenging pandemic and economic uncertainties, we did get a lot done this year, and that's a testament to city staff and all of us on the council really working together to try to do what's best for our city, and working in a collaborative way, really focused on really, what's good for the city, what's good for the residents, what's good for the businesses, and that's it. No other drama, no other issues there, which is wonderful, and I really appreciate that. So some of what we accomplished this year in our city as a group, we approved fully staffing our police department after many years of cuts. We achieved a balanced budget and a truly structurally balanced budget for the first time in 10 years. As Mayor Pro Tem Hasselbrink said, we supported the creation of a Orange County Veterans Cemetery, which is a big deal. We finalized new employment contracts with the Teamsters and with non-union employees as well. We implemented the innovative Lasalle Bucks program using federal money to benefit both our businesses and our residents. That's been very well received. We selected a new waste hauler, Universal, resulting in a reduction from current rates to the lowest rates in Orange County, at least temporarily. And we're going to save our residents and businesses approximately $12 million over the life of the contract. The transition will take place later this month and early 2022. I will remind everyone, we don't anticipate any issues with the transition. If there are no issues with the transition, I'll remind everyone that I was mayor when we approved it. If there are issues with the transition, those will happen on the next mayor's watch. And so please reach out to that, whoever that person might be. We approved license plate readers in various parts of the city to increase public safety. Our city, along with other local cities, was recognized for our contributions to the North Service Planning Area, which provides housing and services for unhoused residents, homeless residents, in a facility at the Buena Park Navigation Center. We honored our retiring police chief, Eric Nunez, as a community hero, and we are close to welcoming our new police chief here very soon, which we're very excited about. We hosted, obviously this is Recreation and Community Services, many wonderful community events, including, there's no way I could list them all, but Winter Wonderland, 4th of July, Trunk or Treat, the movie and music series, Race Lasalle, and so many more. We opposed the release of violent criminals back into the community during the height of COVID infections. We approved an ambitious public works program. We're doing, I think Ron Noda will tell us, 10 times the usual volume that we do, at least dollars-wise, this year. So thank you to their ambition and their hard work. And as Councilman Bates mentioned, we continued to and we repeatedly opposed Sacramento's attempts to erode local control, particularly as it relates to housing requirements and their attempts to eliminate single-family zoning. And we'll continue to do that. And most importantly, despite the new edict that came out today from Sacramento, we returned to a sense of normalcy despite the global pandemic. I mean, if you go to any of our community events, you might forget for a little while that we still have COVID going on. It's the sense of community is back. People are enjoying themselves. People are comfortable. They're taking precautions when necessary, but they are enjoying themselves and getting back to a place where we're all happy spending time together, and it's really good for everyone's mental well-being as well. So I'm really happy about that. Again, the city council and staff have operated together in a positive, collegial, and productive unit, and we look forward to continuing on that path in 2022 and meeting any challenges that we face head on. So thank you all. And with that, I think we are moving on to item, I don't think there's anything left on 12B, right? So item 13A, the city council reorganization. City Clerk Quintanar, I think you're taking it away from here.
Yes, sir. Good evening, council. This is our annual city council report. Our charter does require that roll call votes be taken for these two offices. Elections will be taken in the order received, and we will do a roll call vote. I will do the election for the office of mayor, and then our newly elected mayor will do the election for office of mayor pro tem. So at this time, I will open the floor for nominations for the office of mayor. After nominations, I will close and do a roll call vote for each in the order that nominations were received. Are there any nominations for the office of mayor?
I would like to nominate Mayor Pro Tem Shelley Hasselbrink for mayor.
Are there any further nominations? There being no further nominations, nominations are closed. Please vote for Shelley Hasselbrink for the office of mayor by roll call vote. Councilmember Bates?
Aye.
Councilmember Chirko?
Aye.
Councilmember Doby?
Aye.
Councilmember Hasselbrink?
Aye.
Councilmember Nafolda?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Mayor Hasselbrink.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. And annoying little brother, can you feel me now? Right? No, I'm looking forward to it. The five of us work very, very good as a team. And I think we all bring our expertise and our passions, and together we make a pretty fun group. So with that, at this time, I will open the floor for nominations for the officer of Mayor Pro Tem. After nominations are received, I will close the nominations and then ask the clerk for a roll call vote in the order of nominations received. Are there any nominations for the office of Mayor Pro Tem?
Excuse me. I'll nominate Tanya Doby for Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second.
Do I have any further nominations? All right, there being no further nominations, nominations are closed. Please vote for Tanya Doby for the office of Mayor Pro Tem. City Clerk, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Roll call for Councilmember Bates,
Aye.
Councilmember Chirko,
Aye.
Councilmember Doby,
Aye.
Mayor Hasselbrink,
Aye.
Councilmember Nafolda.
Aye.
Congratulations.
The women are taking over the world, one city at a time. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, my dear.
All right, so the.
Did you want to switch seats?
Yeah.
No, I need to sanitize that first. I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Just take this gavel.
I know it. We have one more item, and that is the city council member appointments and reappointments as representative to other agencies and city committees for 2022. I'll go ahead and just go down the list. And if anybody that is currently in their term or anybody has any interest to be on something else, we can go at like that. So the first is the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District Board. In 2020, Councilman appointed Mayor Pro Tem Doby to the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control for a 2-year term. Her term will expire in January of 2022. They reported that Councilmember Doby had 100% attendance at 19 of the 19 meetings during her tenure. And at this time, a new appointment is required for a term of 2 or 4 years. Is that correct?
That's correct. And council's decision if they would like to do it for 2 years or for 4 years.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Doby, are you interested in keeping that position on the board?
Yeah, I enjoy it unless someone else would like a turn of it, but I have.
I would agree. I would just suggest maybe if it's all right, we just do it for the 2 years. So
Oh, I'm ahead of you, yeah.
Right.
6 years might be.
No.
So she does talk a good mosquito, so. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We don't need to vote on each one of these, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The next is the League of California Cities State Division. They require 2 separate appointments throughout the year, one for state meetings and one for the League annual conference. The appointment being made at this time is for the state division of the League of California City Meetings. And then at a later date, we'll do our representative for the conference that's usually in October. Traditionally, the mayor is appointed as delegate and the mayor pro tem is appointed as an alternative. Any objections to that?
None.
All right, so we're good on that. Next is Orange County Fire Authority. I serve as the city's current delegate. I was first appointed in December of 2016 and served as the alternate in 2015. In my capacity, I've served on the executive board, claims and settlement committee, fire selection ad hoc, cost control ad hoc, and vice chair of the budget and finance. And in 2020, I was the board president. If there are no objections, I really like my firemen. I'd like to keep that position going if possible.
Agree.
Right. All right, thank you. And the only other ad hoc committee we have was the waste hauler ad hoc committee. That was completed when we selected the waste hauler. I want to thank Councilmember Bates and Nafolda for serving on that committee and getting us through this process without being on the front page of the paper or a lawsuit. I thank you very, very much for that. So I think that's it for the committees now, or is there one more?
There is a couple more. Attachment 1 has the full list. The ones listed in the staff report were just ones of special note.
Gotcha, okay. Let's see, so we've got the Sand District.
That one, I think there's another year left on my term for Sanitation District.
That is a 1 year at a time.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, are you interested in staying on Sand?
I'm happy to stay on San. I know you were interested in doing sanitation. Did you want to? I'm okay with.
Either you're okay if I do it?
Yes.
It's one committee I've never been on for the county.
Yeah, I know.
There you
And I know
go.
last year you expressed interest
Yeah.
in doing it, so I'm happy to hand it over.
Thank you.
And I hear your neighbor can give you a pretty good story on Sand District.
For sure.
Perfect, okay. So that'll be Councilmember Bates. Then we have the city selection committee. That's usually the mayor at the time when they do the city selection. Orange County Library Advisory Board. Right now is Councilmember Bates with Councilmember Nafolda as the alternate.
If Jordan wants to go on as the delegate, I'll go on as the alternate, or we can keep it the way it is, whatever you want to do.
Let's keep it the way it is.
And I'm happy to do that or Westcom as well. I don't have a committee anymore. This is the first time.
Oh, that's right.
So other than the budget committee, of course.
I'd like to stay on as Westcom because
Okay.
yeah.
I'm fine with that as well.
Okay. So the Library Advisory Board's going to stay the same, and Westcom will stay the same with Nefolda and Bates as the primary? Okay.
Sure, I can be alternate on Westcom.
Okay. So we'll trade out Ron for Mark on the alternate for Westcom. And then finally is the Budget Standing Committee. Currently, it's myself and Councilmember Chirko. I'm interested in staying on that. We've got a nice little groove going, if I don't hear any objections to that.
I'd be interested in staying on there for at least the coming year.
Okay. All right. And I think that's it, correct? Yeah, I don't know why I'm looking at you. I'm looking at her. She's the one that knows.
She's the boss.
Okay, so with that, I believe we are adjourned. And once
I'm
again,
sorry, Mayor. If we can get a motion in a second to carry the balance.
Motion.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I've got to dust off my meeting notes. Okay, and with that, I will adjourn the meeting in memory of Jean Petrini. Thank you very much, and happy holidays.
Thank you.
All right.